Thanks, Tyler. Appreciate you guys coming out. You know, obviously this has been a very trying day for us as a department and for me personally. And we're very, very disappointed in Casey's loss of composure and being the instigator behind this incident. We take great pain and pride in communicating with our student athletes about their representing the Mexico State brand. We also ask our coaches to spend time talking about responsibility and doing the right thing. And in many ways they do. For example, over the last 3 years, our student athletes combined have done over 15,000 hours of community service. They work with young people. They talk about being responsible, doing the right thing. Then you get, you know, a moment, a lapse of judgment, and you know, and so put us in an unfortunate, embarrassing situation. But they're not adults. They do come to college, and part of the collegiate experience is for them to grow. So we're certainly disappointed, but I met with the commissioner of the Sun Belt. We talked about going forward, and the Sun Belt issued a release. I'm sorry, Sun Belt. I'm in 2 conferences. The WAC issued a release, and Casey Ross Miller will be suspended for 2 games, including the game tomorrow night and next Thursday's home game. Ronaldo Dixon will have a 1-game suspension, and that will be tomorrow night at Bakersville. And beyond that, the commissioner has expressed concern about game management and how things escalated because of their fan rushing the floor. And obviously we were very disappointed that our student athletes had to be put in that difficult situation. So the commission has indicated a desire to have further conversations with them. And so with that, we move forward.
Questions, Dr. Boston?
Yes, I have one question. So you did mention that the WAC has expressed concern about, you know, management on the court. Do you know if perhaps you guys will be having a conversation anytime soon on, you know, implementing a fine?
I don't. Obviously, the one conference that has been very aggressive in trying to address the issue of fans on the court has been the Southeast Conference, and one of the conferences that have actually instilled a fine for students coming to the court. We have not reached that level of discussion. We have our spring meetings in Kansas City in May. Without a doubt, this will be a topic that will be discussed at our May meetings.
I mean, it's possible that these 2 teams could, you know, play again in a couple of weeks. I mean, I asked Commissioner Hurd about, I mean, will you guys look at this as far as keeping people off the Orleans Arena floor if these 2 teams meet again? I mean, that game.
Well, the good thing, and I don't mean to cop out, but that's running the WAC tournament is the conference's responsibility, and I suspect they're going to obviously be aware. I mean, obviously they are aware of what happened, and I don't think they'll leave a stone unturned to try and prevent anything from happening again. But I can assure you that on our end, no one will do what Casey did again. That I can promise you.
Is Coach Menzies able to add to the suspension of, you know, 2 games for Casey and 1 game for Ronaldo if he wishes? And do you think that, I mean, is that something that could happen?
I don't anticipate anything more happening with Ronaldo. Coach Menzies and I will discuss Casey's actions. It was a significant embarrassment, and I had to determine if 2 games is enough for Casey, and we'll have those conversations next week.
I mean, where do you come out on the rushing the court? Do you feel like Utah Valley wasn't prepared for that particular environment, or did it just happen really fast?
Well, I think it happened fast, but on the one hand, it was 5,000 people in the arena, and as I understand it, there were 2 police. And I'm not here to criticize how someone else runs their program and does game management, but a reasonable person would ask the question, is that enough security? And so obviously, and Commissioner's heard the response. He felt the need to include that in his statement, that he will be looking at game management going forward.
I mean, you mentioned it there at the beginning, but, you know, just the public perception, the PR situation, just if you could talk about the last, 24 hours, what has it been like, and how you see it playing out as far as NMSU's reputation moving forward?
Well, as I said, we care about our brand. We talk to our student athletes about our brand. It is included in our student athlete handbook. Coaches are encouraged to talk about responsibility, about responsible behavior. We have social misconduct policy. We have a student athletes community commitment. All of our student athletes have to commit 15 hours of community service at a minimum. So those things are in place because we are concerned about helping them, number one, grow and appreciate the notion of giving back, but at the same time, we want them to understand that they represent a very significant brand in our community. And Jason, to be very frank, there's been if there's one thing that we've done here, there's been a major cultural shift in terms of our student athletes understanding the brand that they represent. And so I'm very comfortable that this is out of context for our student athletes. I think we've had one social misconduct of any significance in the last 3 years. And like I say, we're embarrassed. KC is embarrassed. He's obviously issued an apology. But I do think it's out of context. And I think we have some of the best role models of student athletes in the country. And in committing 15,000 hours of community service in the last 3 years, I think represents their commitment to this community in a very strong way.
Does this take away from the success that this team's already had, and maybe even potentially getting back to the?
I don't think so. I think the discipline that has occurred, that they're consistent with the NCAA rules, except KC was suspended for 2 games for being the instigator in the incident. He's extended an apology. I think it's behavior out of context. It's not the norm, and I expect our team to continue to demonstrate the poise that they have up to this point. And I think we have one athlete, and we're not even trying to determine if he was provoked or if there was any justification for him losing the school. We just assume at face value that he blew it, and he'll pay a penalty for it.
Any other questions, Dr. Boston? Thank you, Dr. Boston.
All right, thanks, guys.